turning tide, is sinking.
Bloodhound, take station to get between the convoy and the attacking sub. Over.
Bloodhound acknowledges. Out.
Officer of the deck, set general quarters.
Set general quarters. Aye. General quarters. General quarters. All hands man your battle stations. Set conditions zebra throughout the ship.
Stern depth charge detail manned and ready. Main battery ports manned and ready. Engineering officer watch reports engineering manned and ready. Zebra set. 4 boilers online. Max speed 32 knots. Electric plant split. All fire pumps online.
Very well.
We've lost turning tide. All ships. Maneuver to avoid.
Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Destroyer, the ship killer U-boat killer death thing where you drop the depth charges and blow stuff up game. Yes, indeed. Because that's pretty much all you do in this game. Anyway, this is mission 7, battle 3, I believe. I'm actually starting to lose track because literally every battle is turning into like this blur. It's like the same thing, just again and again and again.
Sonar eye.
Antler.
Anyway, we have lost a ship out there.
Survivors from turning tide. Bearing.
So I'm going to have Antler. I should say I initially had Antler going to pick up these survivors, but
Turning tide. Position for survivors.
yeah, on second thought,
9.
now that I'm thinking about it, I am the faster ship, and this water is probably pretty cold.
This is Black Cat. Air support on station.
227.
So yeah, I'm gonna turn around and get the survivors, and in the meantime, Antler,
Ahead flank. Aye, sir.
you go look up there for a submarine.
To station. Bearing 058. Range 1,700.
So let me continue on with my historical commentary.
Antler maneuvering.
Of course, what I'm about to talk about does not apply whatsoever to the Atlantic, but rather the Pacific. But kamikazes accounted for nearly half of all destroyers damaged or sunk due to above-water attacks. Post-war, it was believed that the kind of damage they inflicted would be indicative of what an anti-ship missile would cause. Fire was the biggest problem from kamikazes.
5, 6.
USS Abner Reed was lost due to uncontrolled fire detonating in her handling room despite minor structural damage to the ship.
21.
On the other hand, USS Hughes brought a similar fire under control. 2 of the most spectacular cases of surviving kamikaze hits were demonstrated by the Sumner-class mine layers Aaron Ward and the Lindsay. On 3 May 1945, these ships were on picket duty off Okinawa. While the Ward destroyed the first plane, which splashed into the sea about 100 yards away, the Momentum carried its engine and propeller forward, which smashed into the after deck house with little damage done. A second plane was splashed, but the third dropped a bomb that exploded in the after engine room.
I say again, CBDR.
The plane itself crashed into the ship below the after 40mm Bofors mount, spraying gasoline over the number 3 5-inch gun mount, which lost power and communication. So it had to operate under local control.
2, 9.
While the fires were brought under control, the impact severed the communication lines after, so the ship could only be steered from the fantail.
New sonar
A follow-up attack saw another plane drop a bomb just before crashing into the forward fire room, effectively leaving the ship without any main power, just forward the emergency diesel generator.
500 yards.
I'm sorry, effectively leaving the ship without any main power,
Been torpedoed.
aside from the forward emergency diesel generator.
Baker, now bears 3.
The next plane crashed into the deck house at the base of the forward funnel, and then the plane after that crashed into the after stack with its bomb exploding in the after uptakes. Immediately after that hit, another plane hit and destroyed the after starboard Bofors mount. Essentially, the entire superstructure between the forward funnel and the number 3 5-inch twin mount was destroyed. The spaces between frames 72 and 170 between the Mark 37 director to the aft end of the superstructure, with the exception of the forward engine room and some starboard water tanks, were flooded.
100 yards.
1,650 tons of water were shipped, but the emergency generator allowed the fire mains to retain pressure and electricity in the forward part of the ship remained. 45 men were killed and 49 wounded out of over 300 crew members on board. Still, Aaron Ward was towed to Karama Recto and repaired enough to be seaworthy in about 6 weeks when she departed for New York on one engine.
Bloodhound, this is Antler.
Little, on the other hand, was hit by 4 kamikazes in quick succession. First hit port side and destroyed her after low-pressure turbine and condenser. Another crashed into the after engine room, and a third hit her port side amidships, which actually moved her number 3 boiler. The fourth kamikaze hit the after torpedo tubes. These hits destroyed the decks, bulkheads, and shell plating of the after machinery spaces. According to Morrison, the air flasks in the torpedoes also exploded, and the plane's engine, or bomb, also destroyed the number 3 and number 4 boilers. The structural damage was so bad that the entire ship jackknifed and sank 14 minutes after the first hit. 7 minutes after the first hit, the commanding officer ordered abandon ship. She suffered 6 dead, 24 missing, and 79 wounded.
Hockey reporting.
Bridge, poor lookout.
Alright, we got a critical hit there on Baker.
4-0. Bridge, poor lookout. Floating debris. Bearing.
Well, they're going to be working over Able there for quite some time during this mission.
Last known at bearing 237.
Now, in a non-kamikaze related event during Typhoon Cobra in December of 1944, USS Spence was one of 3 destroyers that were lost during the storm. The Spence was down to about 15% fuel, and while the standard Third Fleet doctrine was to ballast with seawater in rough weather, destroyer skippers preferred refueling given their low endurance and the fact that it might take anywhere up to 6 hours to clear the fuel tanks of seawater if they did ballast with it.
Charlie, bearing.
At that point, they might miss their spot to refuel from a tanker.
5,100 yards.
Now, at the time, Spence was part of the destroyer screen of Task Group 30.3, but failed to refuel from USS New Jersey and was sent to Captain J.T. Acuff's logistics group to refuel.
12.
With only about 24 hours of fuel left at 8 knots, the Spence was rolling heavily, and she foundered with only 1 officer and 23 enlisted sailors being rescued.
This is Bloodhound. Proceed to engage.
Roger. Hockey engaging.
All escorts. Contact Baker has most likely been sunk by Bloodhound. Congratulations to your crew.
Yeah, I finally got us sinking. Oh, and another ship just exploded in front of us. Let's get those survivors.
All engines ahead standard. Aye, sir.
Poor lookout! Torpedo in the water!
Yes, I know.
3, 4.
Let me talk a little bit about open and closed bridges, and I'll finish off the historical commentary for this video.
All engines back 1/3.
The U.S. Navy practice is for the conning officer to stand near the helmsman, usually in an enclosed pilot house with the bridge wings from which the ship could be conned.
Bridge, poor lookout!
Now, in contrast, the British practice separated the officer and the quartermaster, with the former on an open platform.
Survivors from
Early war experience with the British, which was somewhat adopted by the Americans,
This is Bloodhound.
showed that an open conning position was useful, especially when dealing with air attacks, because the officer can have an uninterrupted view of any aircraft passing over the ship.
Bearing
3.
The uninterrupted view also helped in conning the ship during convoy operations, especially when targets and vessels could be crossing each other's bows.
9. Range.
This need therefore explains the high bridge structure of destroyer escorts and the semi-open bridge of later Fletcher and Sumner and Gearing-class destroyers.
3.
However, post-war, this open bridge structure fell out of favor as ships operated more frequently in extreme weather, and radars and long-range weapons came to actually dominate anti-air warfare, so it doesn't really matter whether you can see the aircraft or not.
Bearing steady. Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey lost contact. Charlie, last known bearing.
That looks like a pretty good drop there, Hockey.
Range 2,800 yards.
Alright, got a bunch of damage there.
Bloodhound, this is Black Cat. Combat sonar. Contact. Dog. Now bears 3.
Now, as time went on, the debate over open versus closed bridges shifted to the relationship between the bridge and the Combat Information Center,
Mississippi Delta.
given the greater need for close coordination and as the time to react to an attack shortened.
30 degrees left. Rudder 30 degrees left. Aye, sir.
Well, that's what I'm going to talk about in regards to historical design and practice and all that for now.
Attack on contact. Charlie, sonar reports sounds of a sinking submarine.
Ah, you did get it. Good job. You got Charlie.
Contact Charlie has most likely been sunk by Hockey. Congratulations to your
Combat sonar. Contact. Dog. Now bears.
Still working on Able. Now we got Dog here.
Range 500 yards.
We got Baker and Charlie. Now we got Dog.
4, 8. Last range 200
Fire
yards.
2. Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple now has sonar contact. Fire 3. Bearing 1, 8, 4. Range 100 yards from Bloodhound. 500 yards from Bloodhound.
I guess I will say that
This is Bloodhound.
as I was editing this video together,
Roger.
boy, did I really cut out a ton of stuff. Basically, I didn't include every single depth charge run we made on the targets, whether me or the escorts, and I found that like a lot of them just like all of them are misses, so there's no point in showing that. Again, just you drop depth charges, you circle back around, you regain sonar contact, you line up for another run, you drop more depth charges, and sometimes you get lucky. So I figured there's no point in me showing you every single attack run and the results if a lot of them are just complete misses. Although some of them I kept in, but most of the time I just started cutting it out, you know? There's no need for the video to be so long if it's basically all the same thing.
Range 6,700 yards from Blood.
Ooh, there's a big explosion right there off our starboard bow.
Bearing 127. Range 6,100 yards.
Really close to easy here, so let's see if we can do some damage, then we'll go get those survivors.
Last bearing 0, 4, 5. Last range 200 yards. Bloodhound, this is Antler. Antler lost contact. Able. Last known at bearing 128. Range 6,700 yards.
Now we got easy, they're ahead of us, and the periscope is out there, I can see it.
Bearing 0, 5, 3. Range closing quickly. I say again, CBDR.
Combat sonar. New sonar contact. Bearing
062. Range 1,900
yards.
Bridge combat. New contact from sonar. Bearing 062. Range 1,900 yards.
I was actually quite concerned that as I was stopping here to get these survivors, that U-boat easy would just put a torpedo into me.
Bloodhound, this is Mountie. Mountie regained. Contact able. Bearing 129. Range 6,700 yards from Bloodhound.
Hockey, this is Bloodhound.
Bridge, port lookout. Object 1/2 to the horizon. Bearing 0, 4.
Well, it's like that. Maybe I'll get those survivors in a minute. Torpedo is passing directly a beam of me starboard.
Bearing 0, 4, 1. Appears to be periscope feather.
Bridge, starboard lookout. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 106.
Combat sonar. Contact. Easy. Now bears 035. Range 400 yards. Wake
Yeah, you know, come to think of it, yeah, it seems like a lot of the dialogue in this game is kind of phoned in.
Bearing 0,
Fire
6.
Combat sonar. Contact.
Bridge, look out, torpedo in the water. I'm acting, I'm voice acting here.
Depth. Shallow. Combat sonar. Lost contact. Easy.
Now in contrast, there's some good damage.
1. Last range.
Other games that have come out recently, like Task Force Admiral,
Contact. Easy. Bearing 166. Range.
the voice acting in that is actually a lot better. Like, there's actually a sense of urgency in the voices there.
Bloodhound, this is Antler. Antler made a depth charge attack on contact. Able. Unknown results.
Alright, let's nose up and get these guys.
Sonar. Contact. Dog. Now bears 272. Range 900 yards.
Bloodhound picking up survivors from Liberty Bell.
Combat sonar. Contact. Dog.
Range closing quickly. I say again, CBDR.
Bridge, starboard lookout. Object 1/3 to the horizon. Bearing 309. Appears to be periscope feather.
Combat sonar. Contact. Dog. Now bears 313. Range 200 yards. Estimated depth shallow. Combat sonar. Lost contact. Fire 1. Last bearing 313. Fire 2. Last range 200 yards.
Bloodhound.
Fire 3.
People now have sonar contact. Dog. Bearing 127. Range 100 yards from Bloodhound.
Bridge, starboard lookout. Oil slick. Bearing 132.
Surface radar has a new contact.
Oh boy, a new contact, my favorite. Hey, it's Fox.
Range 9,700
Foxy lady.
yards.
Bridge, combat. New surface contact from radar. Bearing
112. Range 9,700 yards. I designate contact Fox. Time 12:55.
0.
We've lost Royal Brigantine. All ships. Maneuver to avoid.
Bloodhound, this is Antler. Antler made a depth charge attack on contact. Able. Unknown results.
Well, let me guess, you probably missed
New
Able.
Sonar contact. Bearing 0, 3. Range.
Alright, we're getting a bunch of contacts here. We got George now.
Bridge, combat. New contact from sonar. Bearing.
And I'm headed for these survivors ahead of me as well.
Range 1,200 yards. I designate contact George. Time 13:22.
Bloodhound, this is
There's Periscope out there.
combat sonar.
Probably George.
George now bears 2, 2, 2. Range 1,000 yards. Bloodhound, this is Mountie. Mountie regained. Contact Fox. Bearing 149. Range 3,500 yards from Bloodhound. All engines stop.
All engines stop. Aye, sir. Bloodhound picking up survivors from Royal Brigantine.
Rudder.
Combat sonar. Contact. George now bears 3, 3.
Fire 1. Range 100
Alright, let's get our revenge on George here.
Combat sonar. Lost contact. Fire 3. Last bearing 3.
3, 3. Last range 100 yards.
Bloodhound, this is Antler. Antler made a depth charge attack on contact. Able. Unknown results. Sonar, this is the captain. Perform active search. 0, 7, 5, 2, 1, 6, 5. Active search. 0, 7, 5 through 1, 6, 5. Aye, sir. Ready depth charges. Shallow pattern.
Yeah, see, they seem to be dropping these depth charges too shallow here. Mountie,
Combat sonar.
set for deeper.
Sonar contact. Bearing 1, 1, 4. Range 1,900 yards.
Bridge, combat. New contact from sonar. Bearing 114. Range 1,900 yards. I designate contact How. Time 13:20.
Oh boy, now we got Hal.
Combat sonar.
Big surprise there, huh?
How. Last bearing 0, 9.
Alright, we're right over him. Let's see if we can damage him.
100 yards. Fire 3. 2, 2, 6 through 3, 1, 6. Sonar eye. Ready depth charges. Medium pattern.
Mohawk and Hudson has been torpedoed and is taking on water.
Combat sonar. Contact. How now bears 2, 4, 0. Range 400 yards. Combat sonar. Contact. How now bears 2, 3, 2. Range 400 yards. Strong propeller noise.
We've lost Mohawk and Hudson. All ships. Maneuver to avoid.
Bloodhound, this is Mountie. Mountie
Alright,
lost
so I'm gonna pick up
contact.
these survivors here.
Last known
From
at
Mohawk
bearing
and Hudson. I went a little bit too far. I have to back her up.
Range 5,400 yards from Bloodhound. Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey lost contact. Easy. Last known bearing 2, 6, 4. Range 4,000 yards from Bloodhound. Bloodhound, this is Antler. Antler made a depth charge attack on contact. Able. Unknown results.
Bloodhound picking up survivors from Mohawk and Hudson.
Combat sonar. Contact.
Item.
Now
Now
bears
we got item.
1, 8.
Range 100 yards. Estimated depth shallow. Combat sonar. Lost contact. Item. Fire 2. Last bearing 1, 1, 8. Fire range 100 yards. Sonar. This is the captain. Perform active search. 0, 7, 4, 2, 1, 6, 4. Active search. 0, 7, 4 through
1, 6, 4. Aye, sir.
Bloodhound, this is Antler. Antler made a depth charge attack on contact. Able. Unknown results. Sonar, this is the captain.
Oh, 6, 3.
Fire 1.
Range
30 yards. Wake on right. Fire 2. Combat sonar. Lost contact. Fire 3. Last bearing. 0, 6, 3. Last range.
30 yards.
Sonar, this is the captain.
Bridge, starboard lookout. Oil slick bearing 2, 6, 1.
Combat sonar. Regain contact. Item bearing 2, 6.
Well, I did enough damage to crack items' fuel tanks there.
Steady as she goes. Aye.
Steady on course 0.
Combat sonar. Fire contact. Item. Last bearing. 0, 3. Fire 2. 6. Last range. 200 yards. Fire combat 3. Sonar. Regain contact. Item. Bearing. 2, 2. 5.
Range
3,200 yards. Combat sonar. Lost contact. George. Last bearing. 221. Last range. 2,900 yards. Combat sonar. Regain contact. George. Bearing. 219. Range. 3,200 yards. From Bloodhound. Combat sonar. Contact. Item. Now bears 008. Range 100 yards. Contact increasing depth.
Bloodhound, this is Hockey. Hockey regained
Fire
contact.
3. Easy.
Bearing 261. Range 3,300 yards from Bloodhound.
Combat sonar.
Lost contact. Item.
Last bearing 004. Last range
100 yards. Sonar. Combat sonar. Regain contact. Item. Bearing 200. Range 300 yards. Active search 162 through 252. Aye, sir.
Bloodhound, this is Mountie. Mountie made a depth charge attack on contact. Fox, unknown results.
Bloodhound, this is Antler. Antler made a depth charge attack on combat sonar.
Antler, I hate to tell you, but you're setting your depth charges too shallow there.
Bloodhound, this is Mountie. Mountie regained contact.
So something wrong with your sonar gear, you might want to check that.
0. Range 7.
Or retrain your sonar men.
From Bloodhound.
Fire 1. Combat sonar. Lost contact. Item. Last bearing 208. Last range. Fire 3 yards. 8. Range 6,700 yards from Bloodhound. Bloodhound, this is Antler. Antler lost contact. Able. Last known at bearing 169. Range 6,800 yards from Bloodhound.
Mountie reporting.
Alright. Well,
Mountie,
we're holding
this is
these
Bloodhound.
U-boats
Take
back
new
here and the
station,
convoy's kind of
convoy
getting
screen.
away, so I'm actually going to have them
Mountie
break
taking
contact
station.
and head back up to screen the convoy. So that's my thinking.
Maple, reporting.
Maple, I don't think you
This
found
is
Hal in
Bloodhound.
quite some
Maneuver to
time.
new station.
Roger. Maple maneuvering to new station.
These heavy losses.
Bloodhound, this is Maple. Maple now has
Alright, we've got these heavy losses, so, but we apparently got the defeat screen for once. As I sip my coffee and ponder the failure of my career as a naval officer. What did we end up with? A minor victory, a B. Is that what you call a B, huh? A minor victory. 5 ships lost, 2 U-boats sunk.
I am very pleased with the crew's performance today. They really worked like a well-oiled machine. I could see the tide of the Battle of the Atlantic turning in our favor. We are still getting hit, but not as bad as the first year of the war. We must do a better job of sinking U-boats. I will talk to the other commanders about how we can improve our offensive strategy. I have no idea how that first U-boat commander slipped through our defenses, but I will order drills to make sure that each escort adheres more closely to its sonar responsibility. We cannot allow that to happen again. Overall, I'd say we are doing a really good job. We have just intercepted a distress call from a lone merchant sailing nearby. Does it have to be this way? To be forced to choose between helping them or sailing on with the convoy? War is cruel. At sea, war is worse. We can do nothing for those ships that sink, but shouldn't we protect those still afloat at all cost?